Hi everybody, my name's Georgia. I'm the Secretary for the Australia Alopecia Areata Foundation, and I'm here with Kay. Would you like to introduce yourself?
So I'm Kay from Sinclair Dermatology in East Melbourne. I'm a trichologist here, so it's not just dermatologists that we have here. We have a hair salon here as well, so I'm very excited about the work we do. So we're going to have a bit of a chat today about what we do here and how we can help you.
Yeah, excellent. If you've watched one of our live chats before or any live chat, you might be familiar with how it runs, but if you would like to ask any questions or comments at any time, you can drop them in the comments and I'll be able to see those and either answer them myself or pass them over to Kay. Or if you're watching this after we've finished the session, you can still leave a comment and I'll be able to get on there and answer you via text. If you can't hear us or if there's any technical issues going on as we go, please also leave us a comment so that we can address that. I think that's all the general housekeeping. Okay, what is a trichologist? What does a trichologist do?
So trichology is a branch of dermatology, but we specialise in more natural alternatives. So we diagnose hair and scalp diseases, alopecia areata, various types of hair loss, and then we'll give you the levels of treatments. And the treatment might not be with me. You might think, I want to do pharmaceutical, so you'll go to see a dermatologist then. At least I can guide you. You might want to go natural, and that's when you're going to come with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where dermatologists specialise in skin, and particularly, I guess, they tend to be more the pharmaceutical side with treatments. A trichologist can, I guess, refer people to that direction or be involved in more natural therapies.
Yeah, so if I feel they need that, it's what they need, it's how they feel. So I'm going to give them all the options and let them make up their own mind. So just because they're coming to see me doesn't mean they have to buy my natural alternatives. You can go away and have a think about, all the alternatives, which could be pharmaceutical, which could be natural, or could be just let's see what it does on its own, because it can recover without any intervention as well.
Especially alopecia areata, it can have a bit of a mind of its own, and there's lots of people. Some people treatments work for, some people doing nothing will work for. Some people, like me, will find that they live with it long term and very happy that way. So, how did you start getting interested in hair? What sort of, I guess, led you to become a trichologist?
What led me here? So I found, my husband actually had an accident and he died. Not expecting me to say that, but this is what led me down this path, because before that I wasn't even a hairdresser. And about a year after the accident, I found my hair was getting a bit thinner, and I went to see Professor Sinclair, and he was over at the Epworth at that point. And I remember when I came out, so I still had lots of hair, but to me it was like, I've lost a percentage that it was noticeable. And I thought there was just nothing there. There was no support. And I thought, people need that. So on my next consultation, and I don't even know why I said this, I said, have you ever thought of having a hairdresser come and work for you? And I wasn't a hairdresser. So, right, but I'd always had hair extensions in my hair, and I love playing with hair. And he said, you know what, I have thought about that. He said, when I move, he said, come over and see me at the clinic. So I left my job and I enrolled in a 2-year hairdressing course. But while I was doing that, I was studying wig making and looking at camouflage and just research, and I was just relentless. So although my hair was recovering, it just set me on this track, like, I need to help people. They need to have, this information. And so, but what I had to do for the first year was 1 year voluntary work to prove to him that he needed me. And so then he built me my salon, and I finished. And then from there, I found that a lot of people were coming into the salon for aftercare, and some people didn't want to do medication, they just didn't want to do it. And then I thought, I need to be a trichologist now, so I had to go back and study again. So I spent a long time studying, but you know, this is the best education here at the clinic because we have such a vast amount of patients come through, up to 70 a day. You know, so it is quite common. So you may feel like you're the only one out there, but you're so not. And when you come here, it's like it's a bit like the AAAF. It's a family who genuinely are concerned for you. We'll give you all the alternatives and we'll do camouflage, and so but that was how my path started basically, from, you know, something bad, but if that something bad didn't happen, that made me super sad and lose some of my hair, you know, the salon would never be here, and it's really been a life changer for a lot of people. So
I think that's really interesting. I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, you should have a hairdresser, and that's then somebody else's problem, whereas you were like, there should be a hairdresser. I'm going to do that. I'm going to train. There should be a trichologist. I'm going to learn how to do that. That's really lovely. I actually, I really respect that. And especially turning, you know, such a, I imagine, very intense experience into something that's had such benefits for a lot of people and
so much
will continue to.
Like I say to myself some days I leave, and the difference that you make to people's lives, because you know I can instantly make a difference for some people in terms of camouflage and things, but it has such a big impact. And I think if that one bad thing didn't happen, you know, and left my son without a dad, then all these thousands of lives, like it's thousands of people that I see. You know, I wouldn't have been able to help them, like they would be out there still. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes I do think about that.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, you've mentioned the hair clinic that you have here. Can you tell us a little bit more about, I guess, especially for the people who might not be familiar with Sinclair Dermatology, which is where we're at the moment in East Melbourne. Would you be able to tell people a little bit about what goes on in this building, and especially what you do?
Yeah, okay, so I love this building because we're all very passionate here about what we do. So it's 3 levels, and this is not to sell you on what we do, but I think it's, you know, information is powerful, knowledge is powerful, so, and it can give you hope. So up on level 3 we have clinical trials, so we're always doing research, and the AAAF are a great sponsor, you know, with the funds that you raise, and it goes into our research here. So we've got doctors and scientists up there continually working on research. And level 2 we have some dermatologists specialising in hair, and we have a pharmacy. Level 1, that's where I am. So that's where Professor Sinclair is, and his fellows and some dermatologists. Myself as a trichologist, and then the hair salon with specialised hairdressers. That it's not just about being a good hairdresser or being, you need the compassion, you need to feel, and we never rush people.
Oh, yes.
You know, so it's not like a normal salon. Like I felt people needed a safe place where they can come and get their hair done, and I'm not going to expose, you know.
It's not got the giant windows on the main street.
You know, it's not got that. Yeah, so it's like a safe place here to get your hair done, and you don't have to be a patient here. You know, so if you want to come down, just come down, and if you want some advice, you can come and see me in the salon, you know, for a bit of a chat, you know, on hair pieces, and I'm a AAAF wealth of knowledge too. So, but I always research who's doing what, and I look at what my clients tell me, you know, in terms of, was that a good experience? Yes. Were they just trying to sell me something? Because if I get told that, then I don't send people there, because I don't want that.
I think especially a lot of people who are maybe new to alopecia areata or new to hair loss in general, it can be a very vulnerable time, and it can be really easy to rush into decisions both around treatment options and around wigs. So making sure that people have the information they need without being rushed into financial commitment is such a big thing. And I mean, it's obviously we also have a lot of resources and a lot of information available as well. But yeah, there are multiple avenues to get the information that you need, and I guess to really get that support.
And I think the light has gone off. Oh, hello, we're back.
No, we just got a warning that our wireless connection dropped, but I think we're still here. No?
Okay.
we're all good.
Sorry about that.
This is the problem with live video. It's occasionally a little bit responsive.
But with the hair pieces and the wigs and things like that too, you know, and I'm sure Shell and everyone, George from Sugar Wave have told you this, you know, you always need to go, have somebody with you. Don't go on your own ever for that sort of thing, because, you know...
It can be a big help to have a buddy.
Yeah, because you're quite vulnerable. And people can say to you, that looks amazing, it's so nice, and, you know, and it might look amazing and nice to them, but if you've got your mum or your brother, they're going... Do you know what I mean? So you actually need that sometimes.
And I feel like so much of how anybody's hair is personal style and knowing something. So, you know, somebody else can think something looks good, but it might not be what's for you. So yeah, having somebody who knows you really well going with you to those kind of appointments can be, as well as a big comfort, can actually be a real help for those kind of things. So I guess obviously you've been here for a long time. You've had some experience with all sorts of different types of hair loss. What kind of experiences have you had with people with alopecia areata? Are there any common questions that you hear, or the types of information people are often looking for when they see you?
Look, I think people, if they've sometimes been on medication for quite a while, and they don't want to anymore, you know, because some people will respond and some people won't. And so then they can look at another alternative, and that's when they come to me for a more natural alternative. So at the moment, because we like to trial everything, we want what we say works and we prescribe is doing what we're saying it's doing. So we're going to do some clinical trials on some natural ingredients. So Professor Sinclair, Les, our scientist, and we've got a compounding pharmacist here. We're all working together now on something quite exciting as a natural alternative. I have some things now, but we want to do bigger and better.
And taking it to, obviously there's a lot of different options with natural therapies and stuff, but making sure what you're doing has that sort of evidence-based approach, and that you can, making sure that I guess, it sometimes feels like natural therapies versus science and research are like enemies, and they definitely shouldn't be, and I don't think that's a helpful sort of approach for...
Well, I think this is a first that, you know, dermatologists and trichologists and hairdressers are working together in this way. It doesn't happen. So normally trichologists and dermatologists are very anti each other because natural, they're against medicine, but I'm not, because I kind of think sometimes that is your best alternative. Not necessarily for, you know, alopecia areata, but there's different types of hair loss, and so, you know, or maybe they want to try tofacitinib, which you know that I'm very excited about.
Yeah, those trials are...
It's fantastic results we're seeing with that.
Definitely seeing some good things through this.
Yeah, we are.
These doors.
So, you know, it's always evolving and things are happening, and so, you know, never lose hope, because it is, we get excited here, because we don't stop.
And I think it's one of the things we talked about in our last live chat, is so much about alopecia is really personal. Some people will respond to treatments that other people won't, and a lot of people will have their hair regrow without ever trying any treatments. So I think having different options and having natural options, that just makes sense when there's so many different ways that the condition can progress and can definitely resolve. Absolutely.
Because it is, as we know, it is so unpredictable, and so, but you know, if we offer that holistic approach to things, and then in conjunction with the hair pieces and camouflage, and being able to get your hair cut and feel safe, and it's a joy to come to work every day.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I guess I was interested in asking what a typical appointment might look like if somebody, say if I came in as a person with alopecia areata and was here for the first time, what would a first appointment with a trichologist maybe look like? What kind of questions would you ask? What kind of things might be offered during that appointment?
Sure. So first of all, we do some photographs. So before you come to see me, we do some photos, because if I'm going to be seeing you ongoing, we want to be able to see the before and afters.
Okay.
You know? So I have those on file as well. Then I'm going to ask you lots of questions about your history. Is there anything in your history the length of time when you first noticed it, and have you tried any natural alternatives? And then I'll go through the process, the layers, you know, of what I can offer. And if I think that you need to see a dermatologist, then I'm going to send you there. I'm not going to keep you from me. Because, you know, people do that in a professional way, but I don't want to do that, because if I think you're going to have more benefit there, that's where you're going to be advised, you know. But if you want to stay with me, you can too. So I think giving people then all the alternatives,
options and
you
pathways.
need to know, all the options and pathways, and then you make a choice on which pathway you want to take, because it's a very individual thing. And some people come to see a trichologist not realising that dermatologists also can specialise in hair. And then once you've got the layers, I think, you know, you choose which way you want to go. And if you go that way, say for trichology, and it doesn't work for you, then you might go, okay, now I'm going to try pharmaceutical, you know. But I do get people that have done pharmaceutical, and this for them hasn't worked, so that's when they come to me for the natural alternatives.
I think that's the other important thing, is that you're never locked into any of these pathways. You can always change your mind or reassess or decide that a different option is better for you, just where you're at personally. What was my next question? Oh, yes. So what are some of the reasons why, particularly somebody with alopecia areata, might want to see a trichologist? What are the benefits that trichology can give them?
So I think because it's natural, and people don't want, I think people love natural, because a lot of times people feel like it's the preservatives and it's the sugars and it's all these, you know, it's chemicals and things that they don't want anything like that. And so that just makes them feel a little bit safer. And I think if you try everything and it doesn't work, that's your best. You can't do better than your best. So I think they want to come to me for that natural, and you know, hopefully that's going to work for them. And like as we know, you know, what works for some doesn't work for others. So
yeah. And I think also, particularly here, where you guys have such a good relationship with AAAF and helping people connect with support groups and stuff is also such a big thing that I know goes on here, especially your younger clients.
Yeah, so we have the paediatric clinic here, so for the little ones, and we have packages put together. So when you come through, we know if you're a 8-year-old or 5 or 10, and so we put a package together with the AAAF packs that we print off, or the school pack, your parent pack, because we know that that help is needed too. The parents need education, the schools definitely need some education as well, so that's great for the parents to take that in. And then depending on the age, I'll have a toy. So Village were so kind, and they've donated Village Roadshow so many toys to us, you know. So when the kids come in, we've got this big array of toys that we'll give them, and they get excited. And you know, if they are feeling a bit stressed, you know, we've got a little toy with them that can make them happy.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's a great experience for the kids to come in. But we don't make it feel like a doctor's surgery, or we don't make it, it doesn't have that feel.
I like the idea of things like the additional information and the toys and stuff. I think, especially young people, it can be very scary seeing any doctor, but especially specialists and stuff like that. I think people can get very anxious, and a lot of people, if they're losing their hair or if their children are losing their hair, they're having an anxious time already. So yeah, having a lot of information, a lot of support.
And that takes the edge off it. And then of course, you know, we can do some camouflage. So right there on the spot, we're going to do some camouflage. And if I put camouflage in, then no one ever does this actually with alopecia areata, because everybody loves the work that we do. But you know, if you said to me, I don't want that in my hair, we've got basins, we can just quickly wash it out, and you're not paying for any of that. So that's the thing. You can try all these things here, and you're not going to pay for them, because I think it's important that you get a feel for things. Is that colour right? Is the texture right? And then you can go away with that in your hair. And if you love it, that's good. I can get some. But if not, you know, I think it's good to be able to try.
Yeah, I think
things.
And a lot of things, you know, people do lots of research online, but it's not the same as being able to see what it actually looks like, how it will look like for you as well. Yeah.
And you spend so much money already, you know, on doctors, on medications, and so if we can just ease that without you having to buy expensive, ineffective products, you come and try them, you know, and I'm always happy to give people little samples of things as well, and, you know, and we kind of often will have conversations about, you know, shampoos can't stimulate hair growth and all these different things that are, you know, false out there, and
yeah, especially
don't like that.
Especially for people with alopecia areata, there's a lot of misunderstanding about, I guess it's kind of the difference between alopecia areata and male and female pattern baldness or other conditions that can cause hair loss, and how some of those treatments, and particularly some of the shampoos and creams, might not have the same kind of effect with somebody with alopecia areata as they're intended.
So we have some growth stimulants here in our hair salon, for example, and in trichology. But if you have an autoimmune concern, it can't stimulate the hair growth because your immune system's inhibiting that, you know. But people could sell you that because it's for hair growth, you know. But if you've got a scarring alopecia, it can't get that hair back. So we want to be real about that too more. Yeah. And the other thing too is, like, for people that have, say, female pattern hair loss, you know, like, I believe in the products so much too that I would say, you know, you can take this home and if you decide that you don't like it, say they bought a 4-month program, bring me the rest back, and I'm going to give them their money back on that, because I know that it works, but I wouldn't do it for someone with alopecia areata because it won't work.
Yeah.
You know, and if it did work, it would have just been coincidental that it works, so you probably would have recovered anyway. So, and if you come and see me, say in the hair salon, I'm not even as a trichologist, but you ask me about a product, I can tell you. I can look at the ingredients and I can say to you, would it or wouldn't it, you know. So I think we really want to save people from getting caught up with buying expensive.
Yeah, help sort of guide them towards what might have the most benefits.
Yeah, it's not nice.
I guess that does kind of lead into the final of my questions from earlier. If somebody, particularly somebody with alopecia areata, is looking for a trichologist, obviously here in Melbourne there's your clinic, but we've got branches all across Australia. If somebody is looking for a trichologist, what kind of questions should they ask to find a good one? How do you get a sense of somebody's reputation if you're just looking for somebody to help you?
So I think if they're registered with the IAT, so IAT is the International Association of Trichologists, so if they've been trained by David Salinger, we know that he's reputable and the training's great. And so, because there are other trichology courses out there that I can't say, I don't know what their training is, but I know with David what the training is like. So, and then I think once you do make an appointment to see a trichologist, I think it's important to always go with your heart. Do you know what I mean? With your intuition.
Yeah.
Because if you're getting a feeling and if someone wants to sell you all these things, you know, you need time to think about it because it's sometimes a big investment.
Yeah.
You know, so I think, you know, IAT registered, go with your intuition is really important.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice, and it's very similar to, I mean, particularly going with your feeling advice, that's very similar to if we get people asking about wigs or dermatologists or any profession that interacts with people with alopecia a lot. It's really, you can do a lot of research, and you definitely should, but also trust what you're feeling. If you want to seek a second opinion, if you want to say, let me think about it and I'll come back later, you should definitely feel that that's an option to do. It's really important to be able to, I guess, trust if you're not 100% comfortable with where you're at.
If I said to you, you know, I'm going to give this to you for this price, but if you go away, you know, then it's going to be more expensive. Well, that's not genuine. Don't get caught up in that. I don't like that. Do you know what I mean? Because you'll be the same anyway.
That kind of sales pitch.
Oh, I hate that. Yeah. So I think, your instincts. Instincts never let us down. That's how we survived in the animal kingdom. That's how the animals survived. But you know, as people, we don't listen to our instincts a lot of times. You know, so I think that's really important.
Yeah, excellent. I think this has been a really, really great conversation. I think I've certainly learned a lot more about what trichology is and especially what goes on here. As I said at the start, if anybody has any questions from now, or if you are watching this later on and think of anything that you'd like to ask, please feel welcome to just drop in the comments and leave a question for us, and I'll be able to get back to you quite quickly, hopefully. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. I really do appreciate it, especially in such a busy office.
Yeah, it does get a bit busy here.
I'm very impressed that we were not interrupted.
We had to lock ourselves away. We had to go away from the salon, and I said, "Come on, no one will disturb us here." So we've
it's worked really well.
It has worked well. So no, I love the AAAF and the work you guys do. It's such great work.
All right. Thank you so much for everybody who's joined us. If you have any type of live chats you would like to see again, or any kind of questions, just let us know in the comments. Thanks.
See,
Bye.
bye.